It's built it in 9 weeks. Unbelievable. And 6 years later, it hasn't fallen over. So, experts. Yeah, Belvedere is a really special name for us. It's Italian for beautiful view, and we've got a beautiful view on Jinnabara country here out to the southwest. But it's also really special to me because Belvedere was the name of the boarding house that my grandparents lived in when they first got married at Kangaroo Point down in Brisbane. And it's actually still there now, Belvedere. So that's why it's special to us. These are our grass-fed and grass-finished beef cattle, and what we do with them is every single day they move to a fresh pasture. When we bring them in, the electric fences hold them in a fairly small area, and when they're in that area, they eat everything, they trample everything, and they crap all over everything. They don't pick and choose, oh, I'll just eat this thing or that thing. They mow the whole area pretty uniformly. And it mimics what big herds of herbivores do in nature.
Yeah.
So like when you see great big herds of wildebeest and things like that in Africa, they are tightly mobbed together. They move into an area, they eat everything in it, they trample everything in it, and then they move on and they don't come back.
Makes sense, works in nature.
So, yeah, typically in a pasture, our cattle will come in first. We then bring chickens in behind them. The chickens scratch through the cow pats and pick through what the cattle have left. They eat up all the flies and all the bugs, which means that we don't need to use chemical insecticides on the cattle. And that ecosystem process relies on really long periods of rest too. So then once they move on, nothing comes back on that land for up to 100 days. It's food in an ecosystem is the way we describe it. So the chickens have their little niche in the ecosystem. The cattle are doing the same thing. I'll show you guys the pigs in a moment, who do a really incredible job in our rougher country, in weedy land and stuff like that. And all of these pieces fit together, and we just make sure that everyone's in the right place at the right time, basically.
So good, so good.
I don't know what I marked her because I wanted to see if it was always the same one that was getting out, and it is.
It's her.
I don't know what her story is. They are usually so desperate to get back in with their friends. She's just a loner. We always talk about pasture-raised eggs and pasture-raised pork to distinguish ourselves from free range. The free range standards mean that people can just have a fixed shed with pigs or chickens in it with a little bit of access to a dirt yard, and that's good enough for the free range standard. Our animals here are always on fresh pasture. They're always moving to fresh ground. And we take a great deal of care to make sure that each animal here is fulfilling its natural ecosystem process. So these are the pigs. They've gone into this pasture yesterday.
And so they're the Berkshire breed, you said?
They are, yep. Purebred Berkshires, sometimes called Kurabota pigs. They're really known for their very high quality pork. So there's a few different age groups in here, but these guys are all quite young. The oldest pig in here would only be probably 4 months old. We process them when they're 7, 8, 9 months old, sometimes even a bit later. We aim for about a 60 kilo, 65 kilo hanging carcass, which is like nearly 100 kilos of live pig. So they get very big before we send them on.
Yeah, that's a solid size pig, 100 kilo.
Yeah, well, because they're slow grown and we want to see that marbling, we want to see a really dark coloured meat, intensely flavourful meat. We wait until they're that big.
They went the other way.
I want to eat the cameraman. There you go, here goes.
Here we go. Get it India.
So this is an area that the pigs have come out of a couple of weeks ago, and you can see just starting to emerge. That's a legume, probably lab. That's actually daikon radish coming up there.
True.
Grass recovering here. That's a little buckwheat or something. And I'll take it a bit further down and show you a bit more mature version of this. But yeah, this is the kind of regrowth we see after we move the pigs out. It's not on, so get stuck into it. This is our diverse cover crop mix. And this is like a really deliberate decision that we made. Grass, like you see off to my left there, just that like really deep grass, is cool and looks great. but it's not very diverse. That's just the one species of grass, and that's not what we want on this farm. We want as much life as possible. So the pigs moved through here a few months ago, and behind them we planted a 15 species cover crop mix, and it's got a million different things in it. Well, 15. It's got sunflowers, that's daikon radish. It's a little tiny seed, but it puts down these big roots, and what they do is they actually go deep down into the soil, break up any compaction. The cattle come along and eat the tops off them. They might break that much out of it. And then this bit that remains in the ground breaks down and increases our soil organic matter.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah.
It's just incredible stuff. And we eat plenty of daikon.
Plus
as well.
they're pretty banging to eat.
Yeah, they're amazing. Daikon for you.
Yeah. Because the sugar content will basically develop as it goes on.
That's right.
Would it be like really harsh at this point?
Yeah, they would be a little bit harsh. We don't, because we're not growing them for humans to eat. We plant them all season round in all types of soil. So sometimes we get a great big one like you might use in the restaurant. Often they get grazed before they get anywhere near that size.
Yeah, yeah.
Possibly the coolest thing about our pigs is that they are fed entirely on human waste food.
True, yeah.
So chiefly brewer's grain from a brewery up at Noosa.
Nice.
Whey from a cheesemaker down in Brisbane. Molasses, which is a byproduct of sugar making. And waste fruit and veg from local farms.
How good's that?
So we divert about 8 tonnes a week from landfill and turn it into pork.
That's awesome, mate. So today I'm going to do a pork tonkatsu, not a tonkotsu. Tonkotsu is the soup, ramen noodle soup. So tonkatsu is, I guess, the difference between tonkatsu and your regular schnitzel. Well, ton means pork, so pork cutlet, tonkatsu. But the main thing is this fresh panko crumb. So if you have a good look at this, nama panko, it's called. So the breading is one of the main differences. Yeah, so I had a great day on the farm with Nick, learned so much. It's amazing what they do there, and all chemical free. Just the biodiversity and such a big role the chicken plays, you know what I mean? Big role the cow plays, the pig. It's just, I guess, ancient style of farming and bringing it back to life. It's so good to see. And I think you can notice that in the flavour of the meat itself. You want to tell it's an actual Berkshire pork. You'll see these darker black hairs because they're a black-haired pig. So I'm just going to start by halving that guy down. You can see that beautiful loin there. So I'm just going to take the skin off the top and leave a good amount of fat. So today we're in my newest venture, RB Dining. It's been amazing, the turnout so far. And pretty happy with the team and the food coming out. So we've got a lot of exciting things to come. And it's going to be a great opportunity as well to showcase a lot of these local smaller farms like Belvedere. Okay, so you just got a little bit of a chain running along there. That's fine, I'm going to leave that on. I'll just take a little bit extra of this fat off. It's coming along nice. And then what I'm going to do is cut that to about a 150 gram portion, like so. So what I'm going to do is just slice through any connective tissue there that can sort of create any shrinkage. Again, it's just the outcome from that is so it's not going to pull away from the crumb after we deep fry it. So you can use whatever you have at home, some cling wrap or anything like that. I've just got one of our backpacking bags for today. Bashing them out, not going crazy. So cabbage, I've got some sugarloaf here today. So I've just taken the outer leaves off. So I've got this beautiful sugarloaf here. Any green cabbage is fine. Sugarloaf I find is a little bit sweeter. Goes really well with the dish. I've got everyone's worst nightmare, Japanese mandolin. So I've seen many of fingertips and knuckles and whatever like taken off. You just want to be really careful, be mindful. If you get down the last bit of the cabbage, you'd rather, you know, do that bit by hand, or, you know, it's not worth your fingers. As thin as I can. So it's literally the pressure that I'm putting on with the cabbage. That's how thin I'm going. What I do with that, I've got some ice water, which I'll soak that in for about 20 minutes. Then I've got a couple of condiments. That's the bulldog sauce I was telling you about. You can buy bulldog sauce. I make my own in-house, just basically off a barbecue sauce recipe that I've added spiced apple and whatnot to it, Worcestershire. Then I've got a karashi mustard, which is a Japanese style mustard. That's always the usual condiment that goes with it. Draining out now. It's crisped up nicely. We've got our lovely Belvedere pork here, nicely tenderized, nicely seasoned. Just a quick run through here again. We've got plain flour, straight egg mix here that I've just whisked together. Another amazing product coming from Belvedere, the nama panko. Little tip for crumbing as well, you always want to have one dry hand, one wet hand, so you don't clump up. To the flour, just keeping the shape on that one. Into there, and this will be my wet hand now, and then straight into the crumb. And then we move on to the frying. I'll start at about 160, so I can get some nice color and crispiness, but it's gonna have time to cook the pork. And I'm gonna set a timer 2 minutes. I'm not gonna cook it the whole way first. I'm just gonna get a seal on it. I'm gonna lift it up. That residual heat's gonna slightly finish cooking it through. And then I'll drop it one more time just to get the nice crispiness on it. All right, that's 2 minutes. So I'm just pulling this pork up now. So it's looking nice and golden. And you see with the fresh panko, you get all these nice shards and crispiness and lightness and airiness. So I'm gonna leave that now for a couple of minutes. And that's just gonna slowly residual cook with the heat in there, or cook with the residual heat left in it. So a funny little story while we're actually waiting is had a trip in Japan with Tony Kelly and Eliza, business partners and good friends. And we were extremely hungover one morning, just done the Tokyo fish markets and had the daunting task of a 13-course omakase fish degustation to get through. And then on the way out, we're all feeling extremely sorry for ourselves. And just this beaming light come from this little shop specializing in tonkatsu. And that's where, you know, all the idea and everything came from, I guess, for doing this dish in the RB menu, for one. Yeah, it just saved our lives. Okay, so I'm gonna drop that again now. Well, because of the quality of the pork and the pig, the Berkshire, you don't have to do a well done. Like a nice medium well's perfect. You know, a little bit of rosy pinkness, some juiciness, it's fine, 100%. So I think we're well and truly ready there. It's a good 65 degrees in the middle. All right, so I'm gonna start off with a little bit of our karashi mustard sauce, our house bulldog katsu sauce, and then some of this lovely cabbage. If you listen to that, it's crispy, it's delicious. So you still want to start a little slice and then sort of guillotine fast. That's extremely juicy. Straight over on top of the sauce. And this is our finished pork tonkatsu at RB Dining. A little drizzle of sesame olive oil there. Using the amazing free-range Berkshire pork from Belvedere Farm.